I've been sitting on this video for a couple months. Now, after a gigantic plumbing issue with our home, I hate pipes now, by the way, and a very, very busy summer of work projects, it's time to talk about Wilmot's Warehouse. In this video, we're going to look at this stunning little indie game and explore how it made me question the way my brain learns new information and how it sorts it. For the uninitiated, Wilmot's Warehouse is a warehouse logistics simulator with cute art and a banging electronic soundtrack. Here, let's just play music from the game for the rest of the video. It's a simple concept. You play as Wilmot. He's a little cube with a face. You receive a big pallet of items at the shipping dock of the warehouse. It's your job to organize all these items by dragging them around the warehouse and sorting them the best way you can think of. Finally, after a few minutes of sorting, your coworkers show up at the top of the warehouse with a list of items they need delivered. You then bring those items to them, and if you do it quickly enough, you'll receive stars, which can be spent on upgrades, like opening up more areas in the warehouse, allowing Wilmot to carry more items, or even upgrading him to some slick new overalls. I played on PC and the controls are pretty good. You can click on an item next to you to pick it up. You can click and drag on a group of items, which will pick up all of those items. You can double-click identical items to grab them all at once. As you move around with your new appendage, you'll quickly realize that organizing your warehouse for fast traversal is of utmost importance. It's not fun to miss out on upgrade stars because you had to drop a stack of items in order to push other items out of the way. Eventually, you can unlock a little helper called Borky. Borky is a derpy robot with a very particular set of skills, namely, sorting items when placed next to stacks of them. Also, Borky becomes entirely useless if you get too close to it, like, he just stops moving and he waits for you to move out of the way, like a very patient but very passive-aggressive forklift driver. But anyway, so that's the idea of Wilmot's Warehouse. It's this endless process of getting new items with different artwork, of which there are hundreds, by the way, sorting those items quickly, shipping them to your coworkers quickly, then repeating the process. And I really like it. It's actually one of the more innovative games I've played, but it's not just because it's simple and unique, it's also because it threw me into these weird gameplay situations where I was questioning myself and the way I come to quick judgments. Here's what I mean. I mentioned there being hundreds of different items in this game, and I'm not exaggerating, by the way. Just looking through the game files, I can see exactly 500 different items. Every playthrough of this game is unique in that the items revealed will always be random. For me, I started with some dots, soup, windmills, birdhouses, observatories, trumpets, a hat, and lights. Or at least that's what I determined these items were. See, many items in this game are designed to be intentionally vague on what their identity actually is. They often use minimal color variety, simple shapes, they lack detail, some even reference pop culture. For example, I look at this item and I think, this is obviously an angry eye staring at me, or this is two white candy canes with an abstracted bicolor background. That's one really cool thing about this game. I speak with 100% certainty that I know what these items represent. However, when other people see those same items, we might align on what we see or have completely different opinions. Now at this point, we could draw some parallels to certain social media websites or to certain November 2020 events coming up very soon, but I'd instead like to simplify this and ask the question, why do I see something one way when others don't? I was convinced this was a couple of candy canes until I looked them up in the game files. The listing says pool. I thought, oh. The definitive answer is this is a ladder. It's, on the side of a pool, you climb up it to get out of a swimming pool. I'm often the kind of person who seeks answers for why things are the way they are. I don't want to just assume hurricanes happen just because. I like tropical weather, by the way. It's more reasonable from my perspective to learn that warm ocean water rises and feeds a hurricane. And even though that's simplifying it, it's equally fascinating for me to learn that powerful wind shears in the atmosphere can weaken hurricanes by disrupting their rotation and structure. Or, when presented with two opposing views on a social issue or some giant news story, I have options. I can fall into the norm, which is to pick the camp I generally agree with, then go about my life. Or, I can look at those positions and figure out which one is grounded in fact, in truth, and reality. You can even do this with superficial things like watching game reviews when deciding whether or not to buy a new game. For some, it's helpful to watch multiple reviews. Others just want the Metacritic score. Others are devoted fans to a single reviewer, buying everything they like to play or knowing that reviewers' dislikes and likes and then measuring those biases with their own gaming habits. I got all of this from thinking about how this game does artwork, by the way. These are things I've been actively thinking about for the last 2 months, and it's all because I think this is an angry eye staring at me, and my friends think this is an egg. So while I was in La La Land trying to sort out how I jumped to conclusions on things based off of my own biases, I snapped to reality and realized, I don't only need to define these items, but also sort them. So I started organizing my warehouse by putting blue items on the right side and dots on the left side. I don't really know why I decided this. Probably the directions didn't matter, but I at least wanted the items to be closer to the shipping office for quick delivery. As I expanded, yellow and purplish items ended up on the bottom left of the warehouse, food on the right of the warehouse. For me, separating items by color palette made the most sense. It was a quick and easy approach to finding what I needed when I needed it. But this doesn't work for long. Eventually, you'll be shown items that appear to be food, though they're all different colors. Items that appear to be tools, different background colors. I eventually had to break down significant parts of my warehouse to support the new items I was receiving, and luckily the game gives you 10-minute long stocking periods occasionally so you can do that. Splitting things up by color wasn't working any longer. It's something I suspected would happen eventually, but once you're working with 100 different items, it's critical to wisely discern how to organize new stock. This might be a stretch, but I recently started playing Escape from Tarkov, very similar games, I'm aware. This is a high skill ceiling multiplayer FPS survival game. Lots of inventory management, lots of long drawn out gunfights, lots of opportunities to be sneaky. Now I'm trash at this game, but both Wilmot and Tarkov have high pressure situations where lightning fast organization is key to your survival. In Wilmot, if you fail to deliver on your deliveries, your boss CJ will reprimand you. 3 strikes and you're out. New game. If you fail to organize your warehouse well, you're going to have a hard time. In Tarkov, if you aren't good at looting and quickly organizing your inventory, you can straight up die, losing gear, and wasting the last 30 minutes of your life. What the frick? So I just lose all this. Okay, well, this was a good use of my time.
You guys wanted to buy this game.
Oddly enough, my wife and I have also been reorganizing our home, throwing away and giving away things we don't need or want any longer. I've sworn not to become a hoarder. And all these things fit together though. It's no coincidence that organization and information sorting has been a key theme of the end of my summer. Now I know we're looking for, okay, what's the point here? Why is he talking about all this stuff that doesn't seem too connected? I usually try to tie together the things I'm learning in my videos as I play games, but quite honestly, I don't have an answer here. Often people like stories that are tied together neatly with a bow. Happy endings, silver lining type of stuff, but often that's not how life works. And that's where I'm at with this. I've been thinking a lot about how I take in information. It could be information about a person I know, a social issue in the world, or why I ignore the 1 and the 5-star reviews on products on Amazon before I buy something, instead focusing on the 3 and 4-star reviews. I guess that leaves me with 2 takeaways for you as this video comes to a close. 1, I really recommend Wilmot's Warehouse. I actually didn't finish it. I think I'm close, but after over 200 items, I decided I couldn't keep up with all the new stock. It was too much for me to sort out, and so I moved on. But that doesn't mean this game isn't worth playing. It's a really, really cool idea for a game, and even though it has moments of crazy stress, it's also quite relaxing, especially during those nice 10-minute stock breaks. I think Epic Game Store gave out free copies of Wilmot a few weeks ago. You can get the game on Steam, it's on Nintendo Switch, and it's also free in the Humble Trove if you're a Humble Monthly subscriber. And finally, number 2. Like I said, I haven't tied together my thoughts nicely, but I'd encourage you to ask yourself some questions like I have. Do you think you jump to conclusions on things or issues? Do you think you give people space to explain themselves? Are you gracious with people, or are you quick to judge them? Do you think this is an umbrella or a melting creamsicle? These are the questions we must ask ourselves. Leave a comment below with your thoughts on these questions. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I really, truly appreciate each and every one of my subscribers. You guys are awesome. I've been trying some hybrid streaming on YouTube and on Twitch. Right now I'm focusing on Twitch as of this video posting, but we'd love to see you on the Twitch stream. Love to hang out. Also, if you want to hang out and play games, join our Discord channel and the links below. Thanks, bye.